Nothing wastes more time, money, and attention than building a custom app. You're chasing a false promise that the tech industry has fed you. In this video, we're going to reveal why we don't think any wellness creator needs a custom app, the hidden fees, the little known technical headaches, and why a custom app, as pretty as it is, doesn't solve your sales problems.
So, Sandy, before we get into that, why don't we just give our audience an idea of what a custom app even is?
Sure. So, a custom app is when your students would open up their phone, go to the App Store, and see your own private, branded, just for you, just about you app. You can probably give a better, more technical definition than that.
I don't think we need it more technical. It's basically that they're going to go find your little picture, your little icon in the Apple App Store or in the
Yep.
Google Play Store. That's what
Right.
it means.
And then once they download it, they've got you on, on their your multiple screens in your iPhone, and they can click and watch.
Yeah.
Okay, Jenny, what is the problem with this?
So I think as a business owner, you need to think about what problem you're actually trying to solve. And when we get folks coming to us asking for a mobile app and requesting it, which has been going on for a decade,
Mhm.
mostly what I find people have been asking for is they're trying to solve the problem of not having enough clients. So they're thinking that they're going to find students or clients, customers, because people are scrolling around looking for the best Pilates app or the best yoga app or the best boot camp app, and they're somehow going to discover you there. And just to point out, that's not really how the App Store works. Usually people are finding apps because they're recommended by someone or a resource. Their friend tells them about it, right? So they're not like if you think about your own behavior, how often are you going into the Apple App Store and like, "Oh, I'm looking for bird watching today. So I'm going to go like look
Never.
in the App Store." No, you're going to Google
Never.
what's the best app for bird watching.
Right,
Right? Like
right.
that's what you're gonna do. Or you're gonna ask your friends in the bird watching community, what apps do you use to identify birds? The answer is the Merlin app for any bird watchers out there. But like that's how you're not gonna just go like, oh, let me look for the bird apps. Nobody's doing that.
Mm.
So if you're hoping to get visibility for your brand, like having that happen in the app store is kind of a bizarre expectation.
Yeah. But yeah, 100%, and I think you're right. The problem that they're trying to solve is like, "I need new customers, I want more sales. Oh, let me go get my own app that will solve all the problems." And I
Mhm.
think it is just so misguided, and it is a complete waste of time, and we're gonna go through what it takes to build a
Mhm.
custom app and some of the costs in a second. But what I get upset about is that it's like this it's like a dopamine thing, like, "Oh, let me go solve my problem by building this thing," and it's kind of exciting and it's kind of fun, and I get to see things kind of form in front of me. And you totally take focus off your business, you take focus off marketing, you take focus off doing true visibility work where people can actually find you. It's a terrible idea. Terrible idea.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
custom apps do not guarantee that you will get any new clients. They are just one gigantic waste of time side project.
Yeah. So speaking of waste of time, let's also talk about waste of money. Sandy, how much do custom apps typically cost folks?
Right. So if you were like, I'm going to go hire my own developers, I'm going to build an iOS app and I'm going to build an Android app. So you got two apps. Um, if you go and like start from screens, you're looking at a range of $30 to $70,000. Plus, you still need to maintain it. You still need to direct the developers. So when iOS pushes an update, you got to go and say, "Hey, devs, can you please? My app doesn't work anymore because there's been changes. Can you go up?" So you're constantly having to watch what's going on in the app world and making sure your app works.
Yeah, so I think about this and I tell people this when they ask me whether my advice on whether they should have an app, and I said, "Think about it like a pet, like a cat or a dog.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to go get this cute puppy, and then you're gonna have to commit to that animal for a decade or more of your life." Like, that's what an app really is, because 'cause you're gonna make this upfront investment, and then you're gonna have to make all of the, like, continuous updates for years and years, and you're gonna need to pay people to do that for you, and you don't know when Apple or Google is going to make changes that require your time and money. So it's kind of like a pet. Like you get a pet, you maybe get pet insurance, you're just committing for the indefinite future, at least a decade, that you're going to have this responsibility. Because who wants to spend 70 grand on a custom app and then
Oh
not
my
maintain it, right? That was a really bad use of $70,000. So that's the other thing. And I do want to say a caveat. There are people for whom this is appropriate. We're sort of being dramatic and hyperbolic by saying no one should have this. If you are like a very famous if you are a Kardashian, certainly build yourself an app, right? Like if you are a major influencer with millions of followers, I think it's appropriate then because you're probably going to have, like a CTO or a developer on your team. And in that case, maybe it makes sense for you. But for anyone who does not have a following in a business that size, I would say this is not a recommended use of your time or money.
No, we're really talking to like our typical Marvelous clients, like
Yeah.
studios, smaller studios, boutique studios, and then the independent teacher, coach, instructor out there. We're not talking to Kim Kardashian.
Although maybe she's watching. Hi, Kim.
Maybe. Okay, so that's one option, like the big, expensive, start from ground zero, build it up, 30 to 70,000. Really, no one's going to do that. The other option, which is it's sort of like they call it drag and drop, or what you see is what you get kind of app, where there are these companies that say they're going to build this app for you. That is much more affordable in the 1,500 to 2,000, recurring every single year. What do you think about those?
Yeah, I mean, I think templated apps are okay, but having be us co-creating and running a platform like we do with Marvelous, there are a lot of features on our platform that almost all have been requested by our community and our customers that are not compatible with those kinds of templated apps. So I would just say like this is one of those scenarios where you've got to pick, like, do you want a more feature rich, robust experience which does not lend itself to one of these templated apps, or do you just want like, video watching? People pay, for example, a monthly fee and watch some videos, and that's all there is. You maybe don't get payment plans. You maybe don't get like other kinds of options in there. Like I think it's an okay option for some people. I know for the clients that we serve, it's not a good fit for most of them because I know
Mhm,
the kinds of businesses that they're running, the kinds of digital products that they sell, and the kind of flexibility they want with regard to how to sell those products. So
mhm,
those kinds of like robust, more complete features, they don't lend themselves to a templated kind of mobile app dev shop.
mhm. These companies that do this, their marketing is spectacular, and if
Oh yeah.
you probably all, if you're wellness creators out there, have seen that. They're beautiful and amazing, and it just looks like this would solve everything, right? But there's fees. Jenny, tell us about the fees that people don't know that are behind those apps.
Yeah. Yeah. So in addition to sort of paying for your templated app experience to the company that is building it for you, you're also going to be paying fees to Apple or Google through the Play Store or the App Store. So 15 to 30%, depending on who you're working with and what your app does. So I mean, that can be a significant amount of revenue for you when you're a small business. Like I know I don't want to pay 15 to 30% to anyone, especially not Apple, for every sale that I have. So I think that that's just another, we could have a whole conversation about like the predatory nature of the app store. That's like a hot
Yeah.
topic. We can put that on our other podcast, but like that's the reality that we're living and working in. And so I think you need to consider like, what is the trade-off of having a templated app where I'm giving a significant part of my sales revenue away to
Mhm.
this like third party versus, a platform like Marvelous, you're giving PayPal or Stripe like 2.9%,
Yeah, which
that's
is
there's sort of
any
standard
business
transaction
anywhere.
fees, but like you're not giving 15 or 30% to Apple. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
that's just something to think about.
Yeah. A lot of our clients, in wellness, they're not charging $10,000 coaching programs.
Yeah.
They're, still 30% is a lot of that. But like if you have a $50 membership, recurring or a $20 product, or like that is huge amounts of your money to give away. The last comment I want to make on this is that there is another option for you to have like external checkout pages so that you don't do that. But the complexity, like where do you do that? That's another whole software. Like you're managing multiple things now just to save that 30%, but you're paying on the other side to make your own checkout pages to avoid that 15 to 30%. So
Yeah.
it's all awful. It's all awful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I
Okay.
do want to point out that we like basically created this industry. We've been at this for 10 years. We were the first streaming platform in the wellness industry, first video demand platform in the wellness industry, right? So we've watched all of this evolve for a decade, and we've made very strategic, intentional choices about how to build our platform that best served our community and our customers, right? So we made decisions not to build out like that because of the predatory nature of it and because of like the intensive resource, the time and resources that it takes to do that well.
Mhm.
So I mean, if I were a wellness business owner, I would need to have a really good reason for having a custom app. And I would also say, because of the fee structure of it, you want to have a pretty big following and a pretty big customer base. Now, remember, back to our earlier point, you're not going to get that through visibility in the app stores. So you're going to have to be getting that somewhere else. So, if you have hundreds of thousands of people in your audience, of customers, and they're going to be coming through a membership, maybe you have enough customer base, like you have enough money coming in that you can afford to pay 15%, 30% to Apple. Maybe that's fine. Like you're probably paying a bunch of money to Facebook for ads anyway. Just think about it. Like, does that make sense for your business? And for smaller solo creators and smaller brick and mortar, like studio based or gyms, like boutique fitness businesses, this is not a great idea for you.
Plus,
So
I just like from a personal side, like if I am taking whatever movement practice online, I don't want to watch it on an app. Like small screen is awful. Like I don't understand why
they're
people
just
think
going to stream it to their TV, guys. That's all they're going to do. So it's
right.
really
So
kind of like a vanity. This is kind of an ego thing. I mean,
yeah.
that's just to be honest, like that's what it is you want to see your icon of your own app. We have an answer for
Okay.
that.
We have an answer. What is the answer, Jenny?
The answer is we all have egos. We totally get it. Sandy and I also have egos. We run our own coaching program on Marvelous, and we have our own app. So we get it. It has our beautiful logo and icon on everyone's screen. And the way that we do this is we had our team build out something called a progressive web app, a PWA, which is basically like our entire platform condensed into a mobile app experience without it having to be in the app stores. So it basically does the same thing as an app. It has the full feature functionality of a platform like Marvelous. And the only thing that we haven't been able to do until now, hashtag coming soon, are push notifications.
Yeah.
And those are about to be released. So spoiler alert. So, I mean, there are other alternatives. Now, you could not build a mobile app version of Marvelous for $70,000 or 10 times that. So
No.
like, that's a dare. But anyone wants to take that on, like it's a massive technical ordeal what we've created. And so we basically worked with our team to create a mobile version of that platform. And that's been out for a long time, but it does allow you to upload your own custom app icon for your own branded studio or business, right? So we have ours for our site, and lots of our clients have essentially their own apps on people's phones. Like I can go in to the notifications section of my iPhone where I see all the apps, and you can toggle notification settings on and off. And like our coaching studio is in there. Like no one would know. It's not that it's architected a little differently than the other ones.
Right.
So I
Right.
do just want to say, like, the reason we're doing this video is because it's this common thing that comes up, because in the wellness industry, our audience is marketed to very heavily with these beautiful ads, as you've said, that like basically convince you of the value of having your own mobile app. And I think we're just here to kind of dispel that. Like we've been in the space for a long time, and I can tell you that the data does not show that that's going to make a meaningful difference in your business. If you want something just because you want it, you do you lean into that, right? We're here to tell you just our lived experience and our best advice about how this is maybe going to be a little bit of a waste of time and money for you. And there are alternatives, like in our case, a progressive web app that's going to kind of give you all of the important parts of an app experience without that price tag and complexity.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing. And so I just want to reiterate, like, what our marvelous customers pay a very reasonable monthly fee. There's various plans that include this app, like,
Yeah.
and storage, and you get to run memberships, and you get to live stream, you get all these things. And so it makes zero sense to us why anyone would go outside of that and pay extra money for a second thing. Like, it's just, again, I'm going
That's
to
an
say it's not a
incomplete
distraction.
version, a very incomplete version of what they
Right.
already have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
And
but again, people have their own reasons, and I think this sort of wanting your own branded little icon, I also want that, right? We have that. I
yeah,
also like the feeling of that. But we're here to tell you that it being like listed in a storefront in the App Store doesn't get you it's not going to get you a meaningful amount of new customers or business. Like so if that's the problem you're trying to solve, like stay tuned to this channel and we're going to be talking about business and
yeah.
marketing strategy as well, here in this space. And there are better ways of getting your brand and business in front of new people, like way better ways that are way more cost effective. And so that's what we're here, we're just here to tell you kind of the lessons we've learned in this industry and from working with thousands of other wellness based businesses over the years. And that's what this is about.
Amazing. That's right. All right. So we've just gone through custom apps. We don't think anyone really needs to do that unless you are Kim Kardashian. But if you want to learn other simple, she's probably watching. You're right. If you want to learn how else we can, how the other way we can help you simplify your business, watch the video where we talked about, do you even need a website? Click in the top right corner. Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks, Sandy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.